Welcome back to Eat, Drink, Talk. I'm your co-host, Carolyn McLean, alongside the wonderful, Mr. Wonderful, Rick Redding.
Wow, it's been a few minutes since somebody said that to me, so thank you.
And one of my fave people whom I haven't seen in forever.
It's been a long time.
Kerri Richardson, hi.
You only visit when I have babies. That's it.
Well, then you have to have
more babies. Yeah, but not
and bourbon.
Maybe the right thing to talk about when we have 3 bottles of bourbon in front of us.
That is very, very true. And the lovely Kerri Richardson is with us because she's the president of Bourbon Women, which is an independent organization that brings women of all ages together.
Well, not all. I mean, you gotta be 21.
Well, yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying. Over 21 that appreciate bourbon and the culture and want to learn more.
Right, absolutely. The Bourbon Women Association has been around for about 7 years. Peggy Noe Stevens is our founder, and she is the first certified bourbon taster.
She's one of my favorites. She
is
was on the Rusty Satellite Show in the past.
Yeah, and what's great about the Bourbon Women Association is that it's really designed for women who are interested in bourbon and are interested in learning more. It's more of it's a deep education sort of association, but we've got a lot of networking capacity as well. And we have branches across the country. So if you are interested in joining the Bourbon Women Association, but you're not in Kentucky, you can pick one up in Chicago or Washington, D.C., and Tennessee, several other places. And then we can all come together in August for our annual symposium, the Bourbon Women Symposium. Not symposium, this is the symposium.
Sip.
3 days.
Yay, a pun.
Yeah, 3 days of bourbon education, distillery tours, cocktail development, meetings with master distillers. We're very closely aligned with the industry, so that gives us a lot of great access to the source. So it's a lot of fun.
I think bourbon is an acquired taste.
I think you're right. Now, there's a part of bourbon that I've always liked, and that's the aromas of it. Even sort of like when I was little, I could smell beer, and I was like, I don't want to drink it, but I like the way it smells.
Okay.
I think that's the same way it is for bourbon for me. The smell is very warm and inviting to me. But the mint julep is actually a really good way to get sort of introduced to bourbon. If you are a bourbon newbie, cocktails are the way to get introduced. And the mint julep in the springtime, that's a great entry point if you want to learn a little bit more.
And we brought the materials in to make a mint julep because it is the official drink, right, of the Kentucky Derby.
It is the official drink of the Kentucky Derby. They're going to serve between 120 and 150,000 of these
over Oaks and Derby.
Over Oaks and Derby. So everybody and their brother is going to have one of these in hand. And we are going the traditional route today, Carolyn. I brought you the traditional makeup for a mint julep and a couple of options for making it too. So, but first, I want to show you what I brought. Well, as much as I can. If you can hear this, this is an official mint julep cup. This is pewter. And do you know why these are served in pewter glasses? Or
No, because I thought they all came in the official Derby glass.
Right.
I just thought the horses' names on them.
Right, at the track they do, but if you have these at a proper Southern fixin', you have them in a silver julep cup. If you get the sterling silver, that's going to run you about $500 a cup. So don't get those. Get the pewter ones.
Okay.
But it's to keep the drink very cold.
Okay.
And so when you drink it, you'll notice most people will hold it by the bottom of the glass or by the lips, and so this will get all covered with a nice frost. And we'll keep it cold for the duration.
So that's how you know if somebody knows what they're doing, right? How they hold the glass.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So do you all drink mint juleps or only during Derby?
Well, you drink them. I think
whenever
a little
they're
bit
in
more
front
than I
of
do.
me.
Whenever they're in front of you.
Whenever I find one.
I will have. If I go, I have a celebratory one.
Right.
I do feel like after that I'm done. I can't have. And I've seen a mint julep ain't for sissies.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, this is not a sissy drink.
That's right. So the people that come in from out of town, you see them fall flat on their face after a few, and you're like,
right,
not from here.
Right. Yes, because it can be tricky because there's a lot of ice in it. So you think, oh, this is going to get diluted. It's going to be fine. No, and it's an ounce and a half or 2 ounces of bourbon. That's a heavy pour. So yeah, you got to be careful when you're drinking those. But you're right. This is not a sissy drink. It is a simple drink though. You can make it with 3 to 4 ingredients tops.
I think we should get in there.
Let's do it.
We're 11 days from Derby when this podcast drops.
It's time.
So let's get in there.
It's time. So I brought you a big bunch of fresh mint straight from the Richardson garden. I didn't plant this.
Is that really from your
garden? This is really from my Nada
house.
Garden. Yeah, you can take a whiff there. It smells amazing. Now, y'all know if you plant mint in your yard, it will take over your yard. So don't plant this in your yard. Plant it in a pot. It'll come back every year. You can't kill it. It's basically a weed, but it's a delightful thing to have in the springtime. So
it smells so fresh.
and there's a ton of flavor in the stem too, so don't be afraid to use that. The super traditional way to make a mint julep is to take your cup and put about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of sugar in the bottom and 3 to 4 fresh mint leaves and smash it with a muddler. This looks like a miniature
Slugger bat.
Yeah.
A muddler.
Yes, and in fact, I wouldn't say that that's not such a bad thing to use for your little souvenir bat and smash it up in there. I'm not making that one today because I don't think you can control the sugar content as well. So what I've made instead is a mint simple syrup. This is so easy to make. If you can make Kool-Aid, you can make simple syrup.
Okay.
This is a cup of sugar and a cup of water. Boil it on the stove until it turns into a syrup. Now this has a little bit of a yellowish tint to it.
It looks like olive oil.
It looks like olive oil, yeah, because I put about 8 sprigs of mint in it and let it steep for about 15 minutes. So
You did it this morning.
last night, so
Okay.
you can smell that if you want to. This will keep for several weeks in the fridge, and it's perfect for sweetening your iced tea,
Sounds good.
for other cocktails that you might have. So it doesn't take much. So I've got a little measuring cup here. You want about a quarter of an ounce of the mint simple syrup, not very much, and put that in the bottom of your julep cup there. Clang, clang, clang. Now the
Sound
next
effects.
the next choice is, what kind of bourbon are you going to do? I'm going to make a
Right.
couple of different ones for you. One that's low proof and one that's high proof. We tested them both, and I have a preference, but I'm interested to see what you all have.
Okay.
Which one you like. So this is an Evan Williams. This is the big bottle, the stuff that you can get in the handle at the drugstore. This is excellent stuff. We are so spoiled in Kentucky that we can get excellent
Choices.
bourbon even when it's not very pricey. So this is Evan Williams, just the regular black label, 86 proof. So this is going to be really easy to sip. So this is
Okay.
about 2 ounces. This is not a small pour.
Now, how does the Evan Williams you're pouring right now compare to the Old Forester served at Churchill Downs in the official drink?
Oh, right. The I think that it has a little bit of a different nose on it,
Okay.
but not so much that you'll be able to tell when it's in the cocktail.
I
don't
can
think.
certainly smell it right now.
Yeah, it smells so good.
Oh, get it over here.
Yeah.
He's salivating because they had to cut bourbon out of his
I love
Heiser
that bourbon.
diet.
Oh,
But I think he's going to partake today. in
Yeah,
the
a little
sip.
bit.
Peggy Heiser tells me a sip is okay.
Yeah, sip is
Oh.
all right. There you go.
She didn't really, but I'm telling her.
So I've just got a spoon in here and I'm just stirring that up. And then I went to, the Speedway next door and I got the super fancy
Oh, yes.
chewable ice.
Yes.
Because you don't want to put big ice cubes in here.
Yeah,
You want to
shaved
put
ice.
shaved ice is preferred. Crushed ice is next. Pellet ice from Speedway is probably third. But fill that all the way
It's
up.
ice at work.
That's right. Fill that. I'm
wow.
packing that all the way up.
Pack it
Okay.
all
That's
in.
because
Okay.
this is a sip and drink.
Okay.
You can see already it's getting that
Chilled.
frost on there. So
Right.
I'm going to send that. I'm going to stick a mint sprig in here. I think I put too much ice in here, Carolyn.
That's all
There we
right.
go.
It's
There we
still
go.
all over Rick's table.
We'll
It's
just
fine.
sling it. It's just ice. It's fine. So I'm putting in here is your mint
Already
sprig.
looking
Get that
Look
down
how
there.
beautiful she is.
Wow.
Doesn't that just make you
Beautiful.
want to, da 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 da?
I know. I'm
There
ready
you
to
go.
roll.
So this
Okay,
is our low
Is
proof.
this ready?
That's ready, girl. You go
I'm
right ahead.
passing it over to
You
Rick because
go right
he's
ahead.
going to be the taste tester today.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
while you're doing
Well,
that.
Yeah.
He might not get any
Because I want to
back.
hear your thoughts on the differences.
Yes.
here.
Now I'm going to go ahead and make the next one with the higher proof bourbon. What do you think?
You like that, Rick?
I love it.
You getting
Well, that's
excited
good.
for Derby? All right, I'm gonna sip too. Where was
We
your
need to get
mouth?
your
I don't want
phone
my
and
mouth
take a
where your
photo.
mouth was.
This
I'm
is
in
all
charge.
That's on this
the alcohol's
side.
going to
All
kill the germs. You're going to be fine. All right. Now the second
God,
bourbon.
that's so good.
Isn't that good?
Usually I sip it and I'm like I'm on fire. But no.
No,
This is so smooth.
It's really
Carrie,
smooth.
You're good.
Well, I tell you something else about the mint
I
syrup
love-
is I think
I
it
love
gives
syrup.
it a nice mouth feel. If we were culinary experts, we talk about the mouth feel, but it makes it a little velvety with
You're
the
not
bourbon.
holding it right, Carolyn.
What I-
It's
oh, I
by
didn't
the,
hold it
by-
on.
come on.
I know I'm not fancy.
We just learned that lesson.
Well, the other reason why you pack this thing full of ice is because this is not a drink that you throw back.
Right,
you know, in
right.
5 or 6 minutes. This is something that you savor.
Yeah.
So,
But
and
I
you
can
want-
see a newbie wanting to when
Yeah.
they
Wanna
taste how
just-
delicious it is.
Right. Just
And,
wanting to whack
and
it
by
down.
the way, I think it doesn't hit you right away. It sneaks up
Amen.
on you like a
Yes, it does. And the longer you let it sit, I think the better it gets.
Yeah.
So here is, this is
Well, because the ice melts.
the ice
a little
melts.
bit.
It changes the complexion of the bourbon. When you put a little water in there, it releases different flavors in the bourbon. So every time you're sipping through it, you're going to get a little bit different flavor. So here is the higher proof. This is a knockout proof bourbon. This is a Knob Creek single barrel. I actually chose this barrel about 8 or 9 months ago.
I've done that on the
It's
tour. Yeah,
so
I know what
fun.
that's like.
it
So
totally
much fun.
tastes different.
Yes, so this is 120 proof. So that's going to taste different the longer that you let that sit as well. So I'm curious about whether you have a preference between the two.
I already know which one I like better.
Do you?
And I'm shocked. I'm waiting
We
for
are
Rick.
waiting with
Well,
bated
my
breath for
verdict
Rick.
is I taste the bourbon more in the first one than the second one,
I
the
was
lower
gonna
proof
say-
ones.
Okay.
So
I thought I liked the first one better, but
Did you?
I don't typically like sweeter. I
Yeah.
feel like I was more. I don't know if the word full bodied works for
Yeah.
this. But
absolutely.
But it really, I thought it was smoother.
Well, I think that's good. And
Okay.
the good thing about bourbon is, I tell everybody, it doesn't matter how much you're paying for it. It doesn't matter where you bought it. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks about it. Do you like it?
So it's pick the bourbon
It's
you
pick
like.
the bourbon you like. And, you know, I love that there are people that are chasing super expensive, super premium bourbons all over the country and trying to find them. But when you can get really great bourbon for $17, $18, $30,
Right.
Then go ahead and get it. There's nothing wrong with drinking what you like.
So before we let you go,
Yeah.
quickly, why a mint julep? Why the history of the mint julep, or why the significance of it at the track?
It's always been viewed as a cooling southern drink. This actually came from the Middle Eastern cultures. I can't recall what the term is, but it was made with rose water. It's a sweetened rose water
Julep,
drink.
with a
Julep,
B.
right. And then made its way here to the U.S. Henry Clay introduced it to Washington, D.C. in the mid-1800s. And it's sort of become associated with southern culture, but the mint and the heavy ice makes it sort of a cooling beverage. So coming into a hot day at the racetrack, it was a perfect beverage to match up with it. So the Churchill Downs brought it in, I think, in 1938, and it's been with us ever since as a staple for the Derby Festival.
Papa Southern cocktail.
It is. And now you know how to make it correctly at home. It starts with your mint simple syrup. Easy peasy.
Kerri Richardson, thank you very much. President of Bourbon Women. Westport Wine and Whiskey, I just had to give a shout out to them.
Absolutely. I forgot to tell them.
That's where I get my bourbon.
Oh my goodness, that's the only place I shop. They have been fantastic
Wow,
partners
that's
for
really
Bourbon Women
great.
Association and
I was
so
like,
knowledgeable.
I'd like to get in one last question because we can go over time here. But all the Derby guests, you must have a first Derby.
I do.
And you should tell us about your first because you never forget.
Well, my first is unlike most people's because I was the 2000 Derby Festival queen.
Oh,
And so
I remember
my very first Derby was there on the finish line in a box with one mint julep. We were allowed to have one mint julep.
it's been downhill from there.
It's been downhill from there, amen. Because then when I was working in local news, you know, I was covering
Yeah.
everything.
Let's see the wave.
Yeah, let's see the wave. Yes.
And
It's-
so
it's
you
a
remember
great
who
time.
won in 2000?
Fusaichi Pegasus.
Fusaichi Pegasus.
And I think I won $2.10 on a $2
Oh my
bet.
gosh.
Yeah, so
Heavy,
because
big
he was
favorite.
a clear favorite. Yeah,
Big favorite
but,
that year.
But it was a good first way to do Derby for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in.
I had a ball. Thank you so much. And you all are going to have a great afternoon.
Yeah, let's just
knock it back here.
turn this off and keep drinking.
Yeah.
Party! All right. You take us to break there, buddy?
That's right.
All right.
We'll be back with more Eat, Drink, Talk right after this.